still afraid.
Stop it now, I mean it.
They're coming for you, Barbara. They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming to get you, Barbara. We used to really be scared here.
Johnny.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Hey everybody,
Hey,
happy
gang.
Friday.
Woo!
Welcome to Living Hopeful Recovery Chat.
Man,
No guests tonight, just you, me and Pappy, and our producer.
in my super loud shirt here.
Hope everybody is having a good week. I hope everybody has been enjoying a week, enjoying the weather,
My mother-in-law is watching.
getting warmer.
My mother-in-law finally figured out my favorite mother-in-law.
It is pretty rough out there with the
Hello, Lara.
humidity,
Hello, Barb.
but
Hello, Liz. Hello, Fred. Man.
we're just getting started. And apparently Pappy sees a whole bunch of people. I don't see anybody but Joy Ashley, so but anyway,
And they all disappear.
we're here.
I don't know what goes on with this one.
Hope everybody had a good
Oh, there they
week.
are.
We had a really good week playing with the grandbabies, just getting ready for the summer, getting the pool ready. And trust me, you're not doing laps. It's just a kid pool.
The hot one today out there, gang. It was so
Yes,
hot today. I see 2 trees fighting over a dog. I did. Yeah,
Yes.
That's what I did. Yeah.
It was very hot, and with storm blew by. Oh my gosh, it was a downpour. It was crazy. So tonight we're going to be talking about change and what that means for families, friends, how you're dealing with your loved one, how just, kind of making sure that everybody is, doing good in their own recovery, and helping maybe guide your loved one that may not be ready for the recovery process to maybe gear their way into recovery. It takes some time before they find that path and they find that they're ready to do what they want to do. So just, think about what your loved one would need. If we're coming at them and screaming and hollering and just getting angry and frustrated, they're not going to want to look for change because they're looking at, what is this, what I'm going to do? I'm going to get better, and then I'm going to get yelled at, and I'm going to get screamed at. No. So we have to look at it, what we can do as a family to help them find their way to recovery and make them want to be part of recovery, part of the family, part of your friendship. So
But his camera angle's really bad.
So, it's time to, maybe rethink some things that we've done in the past, rethink some of the things we have been, told. It's really hard because, you think you're frustrated, you're angry, but it's more fear. You're living in fear, not knowing what the outcome is. So it's just best to live in your moment, live in for today. We don't know what our loved one's going to, do tomorrow. They may walk into a detox center and start their process without us even knowing. So, think about the positives in today and think about what might you be able to do to make it easier and better for our loved ones to take that step into detox or recovery, or to keep them going in recovery. A lot of people, go to that family meeting before their release, and just bring up the past and bring up the anger and bring up the frustration instead of, really sitting back and thinking, what is it that you want to do when you leave treatment? Where do you want to go from here? What do you feel would help you the best to continue on the path of recovery? These are things that I did not do for myself. It's hard when they tell you, oh, by the way, you're going to have a family meeting, and this is what, this is the day we're going to do it. But they don't tell you, what the best approach is. They don't tell you what you should be discussing and where do you go from there. So I think it's really really important for us as family members to really think about what we're going to say to our loved one when we have to go into that family meeting. We also have to be prepared. Like, are we going to allow them back in the home? Are we going to, suggest that they try the recovery house? So these are things that we have to prepare ourselves for, and maybe talk to the counselor or talk to somebody that's been through this and consider what it is that you want to discuss with your loved one, with the counselor present. So
can I chime in just for a second?
Yes, please do.
That's a great point you make there, but make sure that you set up ahead of time with the rehab and such and a counselor, and have your loved one sign off that you can inquire about their progress and such, because of the HIPAA laws. I mean, you're so limited on things like that. So make sure you establish that ahead of time, so that you can keep in contact and know what's going on, and know, God forbid, if they go AWOL, out of there. Because if you don't do that, they're not allowed to tell you.
Right.
You're going to get, I can either confirm or deny if they're still here.
Yes. And that is hard. That's a hard thing to swallow when you're sitting in that meeting for the first time. Your loved one is going in, and it doesn't matter if it's a friend, if it's a spouse, if it's a child, or if it's a family member. It does not matter. If your loved one has not signed that agreement to release that information to you, you have no way of knowing if they've stayed for the treatment or if they have AMA'd. That is scary to come up with. And I know that they do have a law they're trying to pass that they have to have somebody, and it doesn't have to be a family member either. It can be actually a friend or maybe a different family member that they give that information to, just so that somebody is aware of the progress. And if they do AMA, they have somebody to contact that they know that they can reach out to if they're ready to go back or they're ready to move forward somewhere else. But it's also very important that you make sure that you let them know that you're there for them and that you're present for them, and hopefully they'll keep you on that particular list to sign you in. So be aware of that. But we are talking about change, and when we come into this, we are so lost and we don't know what to do. So
hello, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah. We've reached into different programs to
John, hello, John. We don't want to leave nobody out.
Hello, John. I don't see
Crombar.
Who's joining. So.
Mr. Crombar.
Mr. Crombar. Hey, Mr. Crombar. I'm sure you're only going to pop in and say hi. You're a busy guy.
He is a busy guy.
He is. John's a great resource. He's a great person to reach out to just for help. And tomorrow, while I'm at it, and I will add this again at the end of the program, that tomorrow's Living Grins in-person meeting in the Oxer Valley building. It is from 11 o'clock to 12:30. We may run over.
Oh, imagine that.
We usually run over. And that's fine because, if you need to talk, we're there. In person is so awesome.
It sure really makes me look heavy.
Yeah. I think the belly makes you look heavy.
Ooh, well, I never wear these shirts, but I get soaking wet in the rain.
Yeah, so please check out if you are in the Lower Bucks, Philadelphia area. Please check it out because it is really a cool program, and it's great getting in and talking to those that have gone through this, that have somebody in treatment, that has somebody in recovery, whether it's short term or long term, or somebody that is in treatment at the time.
Hello, Eileen.
Hi, Eileen. So these are actually people that have been through it or are just getting started. And that's why we have these support groups. And that's why I continue to be part of Living Grins family parent group, because there's so many people that are just starting out and they don't see the hope and they don't see a future. So that's why I'm there. That's why I do what I do, because I remember the very first day. To this day, I remember the first day. So, I want to be able to, know where they're at, and I want to be able to, help them through the process and help them get stronger along the way. That's why they call it the WE program. Whether you are a parent, a family member, a loved one, a friend, that's why they call it the WE program. Whether you're doing AA, NA, Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, it takes a group of people to keep us just on track and just to keep our minds from just wandering off and just thinking the worst. We are here to talk to anybody that needs support and help, and get through the process. So,
and remember our call-in line. If you got a question, feel free to call in at 267-737-8031. We're listening.
Oh, Eileen, thank you. I'm just so glad that he's still doing good, and he's on track. And I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's heading into 2 years in recovery. And I'm just blessed to be there for you and help you, gain the strength that you needed during this time, and to tell you what I've done and what was good worked for me and what didn't work for me. So it just helps the next person. So that's why I do what I do. So yes, he's 2 years, and that's amazing. The program works if you work it. That's just what it is.
And the more time you get under your belt, you know what I mean, the better things start looking.
Yeah, you grow, that you get that strength.
Well, your person start getting faith in themselves at that point. That's very important.
Because it's stressful on the family. It's, people, get sick. They end up in the hospital. There's just so many things. It's like a domino effect. It starts to affect usually the friends first, because they're usually the first ones to find out that there's an issue. And then, then it hits the family, and then the job, and then, the house, whatever you have made in your life can be taken away. So it takes a long time to build all that back up. And trust me, there have been some people that have the stories of prison
Hello,
and
Marge.
jail.
It's our good friend Marge on there.
Hey, Marge. So with that, that's the most important thing, that we stay connected and we help one another. That's so important.
Definitely. I mean, you got to get a support system in place. It makes it much easier on you. I mean, without that, I mean, you're all by yourself, and then you start losing faith. I mean, you need a support system to back you up, to tell you doing the right thing. I mean, because a lot of times you don't know what you're doing. You're like, you don't know which way to turn.
Right.
You just don't know what to do, and it's a very confusing time.
Right.
Really.
And some of us, I know from my point of view, seeing so many that died in the 80s because of what was being mixed with the drugs. You don't see a whole positive future when you see how many people have lost that battle. And not necessarily from the drug, just from what it's being mixed with. So, and how many drugs are they mixing it with? So, it's important to see the positives that come out of recovery. And we're always talking about the, overdoses and those that passed from addiction. And you know what? We need to talk about that, because they are prominent in this disease.
Eileen's comment about her person there, say he hit rock bottom. It was at night where he and a girlfriend almost died. Rock bottom has become like a dated type expression, only because it's kind of misleading. Because so many people trapped in substance use disorder, they might think they're at rock bottom, but they always find that hatch at the bottom where they can sink even lower into their addiction. But I like to say that they come to an epiphany, and they come to that point in their life where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they truly desire a change in their life, because they don't want to go on like they are any further.
Right.
Like, rock bottom. A lot of people still use it. Like I said, it's kind of a dangerous assumption. You think, okay, hit the rock bottom. He said he wants help, and then lo and behold, boy, they go out and they use that one more time before going in, and they sink even lower, and they go on another run. So that's But
I mean, just
like
from
that angle. Look at that.
Look at that.
Hi, people. Hey.
Just from being in this and researching and reading and attending anything that I possibly can to learn more about substance use disorder. I also know that
10-4 on the epiphany.
yes, every time they relapse, it gets a little worse. Their desperation gets harder on them. So,
and remember, they're the hardest on themselves than anybody. You might not think so, but they're not proud of themselves.
No.
They know they have a problem. They know they have it, but you might not notice it. But there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of shame.
Yes.
And to go along with it, don't think they don't care. They do.
Yes.
They may not come out and say it to you.
Right. And not everybody has that glowing aha moment. Some people say, like, they saw the light, like they got down on their knees and prayed, and just something in them went into recovery, and they stayed in recovery.
Moment. I mean, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
right. And some people have gone to jail, prison, and come out and found a better life if they were working a program within the system, which some prisons do, some jails do.
Finally, they're starting to.
Right.
I mean, they're starting to come around and see.
Yeah, and they're seeing that they need to help them before they're released. So some of them, I'm not saying everybody that goes to jail or prison is the aha moment. but a lot are. And we tend to forget how many people out there are actually in recovery. Thousands. And
Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. You'd be shocked.
Yes. So we're always hearing about, those that are using. Because of the anonymous program, a lot of people don't, share their success. So it's very important that we make you aware that is out there, that so many people are out there. Oh, and I see Sexy Voice SVB is out there. How you doing, Brian? I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, just like Pappy said. I haven't hit rock bottom, and I don't plan on it. Change is big in recovery.
Yeah, it's so well said, Fred.
Eileen shares with us, in the last year, he finally stopped blaming everyone and everything else. He now has taken ownership of his own issues. And yes, he was in jail a few times. And like you said, jail doesn't always mean they hit that pivotal moment and find that recovery. Hey, Deborah.
So many of us that aren't familiar with recovery out there, like, the party's over. Your loved one's not partying and getting high. When you sink far into your addiction like that, you're doing your drug of choice to feel well. Okay, it's no party. It's no good time. You're doing it just to feel well, to be able to function. And too many people just don't realize that aren't familiar with everything that goes behind addiction. I mean, they think, look at him, he's not working, he just sits around getting high all day where everybody else out busting their ass, he just party. Nah, the party's over, man. The party's been long over when you get to that point in your life. And that's why it's hard to convince a lot of people that it's a disease. I mean, so many feel it's a choice, even, beyond at first.
And
I think it's just a choice every day for them.
Yeah, it is a choice. They chose to pick up. Everybody chooses to pick up. Some choose to take that pill from the doctor and, take that prescription. And they don't know they have the addictive brain. They don't know that they're missing that chemical that gives them what they need in life. And there's no turning back from it. And when you're in such pain, you'll do anything to get rid of the pain. So your doctor is your first person, and you trust your doctor. Don't trust your doctors. Trust the literature. Trust the research on the medication they're giving you, because you do not know. They cannot tell if you have a addictive brain. So that's so important. Yes, they may have chosen to experiment. They may have chosen to take that drug from the doctor, but they did not choose to become addicted to the drug.
No, and experimentation is very dangerous, especially with opiates. I mean, if you have the addictive brain, if you're set up for it, I mean, that experiment, I mean, one time you could be off to the races, especially like heroin. I mean, heroin's not a recreational drug, in my opinion, at all whatsoever.
No,
and I said before, a lot of people, the first time they try heroin, I was told this by a professor, that you have a 50% chance of becoming addicted to that heroin. And if you should try it a second time. That goes up to 75% chance of addiction to that drug. There's no other drug like that that's so addictive. It just hijacks your brain, and if your brain's set up a certain way, it can hijack it immediately. I mean, the same with any opiate. I mean, you go and get your teeth worked on or something, they give you a bottle of Vicodin or this and that. Most normal, if you take a few, I don't need these. I'm good. I mean, I was one. Made me very nauseous. I said, it don't hurt that bad. I don't need this. Some people take it like, whoa.
It lights up that missing
like
chemical.
You take one a day, and then a couple of days later, I think I'll take a second one of them. But the pain's like, You know,
Yeah,
and
they
so
don't realize it's opened that receptor. And
Yeah, opiates
it's,
are dangerous. Yeah, and
Yeah.
so are benzodiazepines and everything else. But and
Well,
I never
it's all-
seen
it's-
anybody hijacked like on heroin and
Right.
opiates.
But even still, the benzos, it hits that receptor, and it gives you a feeling that, I don't get from taking them, because medication makes me sick to my stomach. So I don't have that euphoria that people get when they put a substance, whether it's alcohol, whether it's a drug, in your body. So yeah, it's Deborah says my rock bottom was when I lost my home, my kids, my hubby, and freedom.
No.
And her recovery has gotten all of that back for her, and
Hallelujah, man.
an amazing life today.
That right there showed you. Man, recovery works if you work it, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it didn't come easy by no means.
No,
You put a lot of work, a lot of diligence into it.
right.
And the payoff is priceless. It's great.
Yep, she says that her doctor was her drug dealer. And we just watched the documentary on HBO Max of the crime of the century. And oh my goodness.
Oh my God,
That
yeah.
is, if you get a chance to watch
You
that.
think you know what was going on with these drug companies? It was so over the top, ridiculous with
Yes.
fireworks and parties, bringing these doctors in cells. It was like an Herbalife.
Right. But,
If anybody ever familiar with Herbalife, you'll know exactly what I'm talking
but
about.
I mean, you get things back. Like, it's unbelievable how you build your life back from it. I can see people building a better and bigger life coming out of recovery than I do seeing somebody that's just kind of like dragging on and just doing life because they're supposed to get up and go to work. They're supposed to get up and take care of a family. They're supposed to get up and get married and have children. And I just see them dragging, okay, I have a family. I now have to buy them a house. I now have to get up and go to work. I now have to do all this responsibility. And they never progress from there because there's just not that joy in their life. And
there's a reason for that joy. When you're trapped in your addiction, your brain isn't producing the chemicals you need to produce that feeling of joy or empathy or guilt. Which I said a lot of times before. I mean, you're not producing the serotonins and everything else. I mean.
But I'm even talking just the normal person with the normal brain. They're just living life the way they're supposed to. That's, you go to school, you graduate, you go to college, you get a job, you get married, you have children. And some people, do that college or do that schooling and take a job that they really aren't happy with. But
that was me. That's why I dropped out of college. As I was sitting in my nighttime accounting class and taking it during the day, and I go, wait a minute, I hate this. I don't want to do this the rest of my life.
But and then you have somebody coming out of recovery, and they're working the program, and they have their wee people, their support system, and they say, hey, they start out maybe working that, landscaping job, roofing job, whatever, just to get them, back on their feet again. And they work towards the dream job that they want, or the dream family, or, whatever it is. The program just feeds your brain with so much more, I think, in a support field of an AA program, a 12-step program. It just really helps you. I'm not saying they're going to have a happy day every day, but they build so much more back having that support and rebuilding their lives. So, that's just something that I feel is something that was going on. I have a text here from someone. Hey, Lori, at least there are congressmen, women trying to change the fact that treatment centers are required to notify the loved ones when their loved one has left treatment. I cannot hear your podcast when I text, so forgive me if you've mentioned this. You're good. And yes, I was just so excited to hear that. I had somebody that was that texted that to me. So
And there's Meredith.
thank
Hello,
you.
Meredith.
Hey, Meredith, love you, girl. And this, it's just you meet so many people. You think, oh, how boring
Doing
recovery
this fills
is.
my heart and soul, Meredith. Actually, I mean, I took a job as a truck driver 35 years ago just to hold me till I found something else. There I am, still driving a truck, but I don't get no excitement out of that and all, no fulfillment. But doing this, I love it. I mean, I love you meeting all you guys. I mean, I said it before. I probably have more friends now that are in recovery than friends that aren't in recovery. I mean, without a doubt. And I think you're all amazing people. You're just all around great people. You're very thankful for what you've accomplished. I mean, you're much more humble in life. I mean, it's recovery rocks, man. It really does. And
It does.
I have to tell you, I'm not in recovery, and I'm not claiming that I am. But I just enjoy being around you people, and I enjoy giving back because I mean, so many people helped us, and we felt we had to help people. Mm-hmm. We really did, especially parents, and loved ones, spouses. Right. I mean, that's why we do it, and we don't do it for the accolades, and we don't do it for money. We do it because it makes us feel good that we're giving back and doing something to help other people.
It does. I think the
and I
program,
get to sit in this really cool studio and look important too.
Yeah.
Spin around in a big fancy chair.
I just love the 12-step program, and I think like when you're born, you should start being taught the 12-step program because it is an amazing tool.
That's what they should be teaching in the schools.
Yeah.
Imagine that instead of critical race theory and all this other
Right.
stuff. And teach the 12 steps, but
Right.
wouldn't hurt no more.
And the
Make you a
only
better
problem there is with the 12 steps, you hear God a lot.
Oh,
and,
my God forbid.
and-
that makes sense. It knocks it.
And, we have to be mindful that not everybody is, on a religious path. Right, Lar? So,
Let's not
we have to...
badger poor Larry.
We have to find a way to, let our loved ones know when they're going into treatment. And most treatment centers, I think, do teach the 12-step program. So we have to let them realize that they're not there to be taught a religion or to be religious. They're taught to find their spiritual awakening.
No, people don't understand. That's God. That's God. That's got
Right.
God all over it.
Right.
How did everybody just started hating religion, started hating cops,
Right.
started
Everybody.
like overnight. When
Yes.
all these agnostics take over, I mean,
Yes.
I'd have to say probably 97% of the people
Yes.
on Earth are some kind of religious background, no matter what it is. And maybe 3% agnostic or whatever, but my gosh, they're so powerful.
Yes. And Brian, you're so right how the program does open up conversation. It takes you out of your comfort zone. It teaches you how to be comfortable talking to people. And
Irene, we understand you got things to do, no problem. Tune in again. We're here every Friday night.
yes. Thank you, Eileen. You have a wonderful night, and hug your boy for me. And just keep doing what you're doing. Yes, Brian, you are right. The 12-step does bring out a better person. It really does. I mean, I have seen so many people just enjoying life and enjoying, they may not enjoy getting up there and telling their story because, you know, it's a very uncomfortable feeling to be talking to a lot of people. And I know, I mean, I even am not comfortable here, but I'm here.
I'm very comfortable.
Yes, well, you are, but I'm not. And when he does play it back and I hear it, I hate myself because I sound bleh. But
I got to teach you how to speak in a professional manner so that you resonate over a microphone.
yeah. So, but I'm here because a program that I watched, After Dark, helped me through some of that too, and that's why I'm doing this, because we don't have our After Dark anymore, but we have our family from After Dark that's still here, that's still, you know, chiming in. I have Deborah, Liz, Brian, you know, just everybody helps each other when we're not having a good day, whether it's, you know, with our family, with a friend, with our job, with a neighbor. Everybody's there to help. You know, help you even look at a different perspective, help you find the positive from all the negative that's going on around you. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to let the person that has no idea where to turn to, how to start, you know, helping their loved one or helping themselves. So Fred says, yes, a 12-step program and the Serenity Prayer are helping me live a life that's very enjoyable. Oh, thank you, Deborah. And Brian also says the 12th step to being a better person. Yes, it really does. It really keeps you positive. There's a lot of positive in the 12-step program. Do you hear that?
Dog.
Oh, sorry. The dog's here.
I thought I heard Amber.
Yes, she said the dog.
But the dog's out at the door because she wants to come in. But I mean, that's why I'm here. I want to be able to help as many people as I can. And, you know, I don't care if it's one person. I don't care if it's one person a year. As long as I can be here and help somebody, that's what I'm here for. So I continue to do, and I will always continue to be here helping everybody as best I can.
That snorting and snarling is not me. It's my boxer down here.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. You've helped me a great deal.
Wait on.
You know, that's what we're here for. We're family. It doesn't matter. And I know it sounds corny and everything, but it's true. You do find, excuse you do find peace and joy with the people that you come in contact that's in the 12-step program. But change is important, and change.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know, you know, how to tell your loved one, like, you need to change your people, places, and things. You know, that's hard for somebody.
Sure, yeah, that's easier said than done. But.
Yeah, but, you know, and that's not to say that you have to change that for the rest of your life. You just have to change it while you're in the early stages of recovery until you can get strong enough to be around somebody that may be drinking a beer or smoking a joint or popping a pill in front of you. Because that's a difficult thing. And talking about that, if you are to watch that documentary, just, you know, be careful. There's some triggers in the very beginning of the show. So if you're not strong in your recovery and you feel that watching drug use could set you back, you do not want to watch the show, the movie, because, or documentary. You could be triggered from that. So please be mindful that when you're watching it, that is in there. So, but it is a great documentary. And somebody from my Tuesday night group, I just want to share this with you because this is a really amazing book. It's called Balm, and it's actually a program. On there it says, reading it, it says it is the Al-Anon Plus. And it really is a very interesting book, and it has a lot of different things in here. After each chapter, it gives you little things to do, little exercises to do for yourself. And there's charts in here that they show you how to fill out so that you can always keep checking back on yourself to make sure that you're not enabling, that you're not, taking care of yourself. That is so important with loving someone in substance use disorder, is learning how to take care of yourself during that process. So I highly recommend reading this book if you are someone that has a loved one that is suffering from substance use disorder. Amazing book. It actually pretty much follows through with the Beyond Addiction book, which is my other super favorite book. And I wish I had that during the beginning of my journey through helping a loved one. This is a really good book. It has a lot of exercises. You're not going to fix or help your loved one when you get to the end of it, because it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of reading. So this is amazing. Both books are amazing, and I absolutely love it. Deborah says, I get more support from my recovery family than my God-given family.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Right.
If they're not educated in addiction, they're not going to understand the journey that you're on. So many people think they understand addiction. Me being one at one time. And they really don't. Mm-hmm. That's why, you don't always share with your family or your neighbors what's going on, because they don't understand what's going on.
Right.
And there's a lot of stigma attached to addiction. Mm-hmm. Always remember that.
Right.
And it's been drummed into people's heads their whole lives. I mean, I was one of them people. I didn't always feel this way.
No.
I mean, I had a lot of resentment for addiction, in my family growing up. I didn't realize that what they were going through.
Right.
That they couldn't help themselves. Mm-hmm. So, don't be too hard on your family. They may not have been as nice and helpful as you'd wished, and that's probably because they didn't understand addiction. What
Right.
they're going through. They think you're just making bad choices, and you got to put your shit together and get your head straight and start doing your DOC. People just don't know. They don't understand that. That's why it makes me a better person now in the recovery field, because I don't get as angry with I don't get angry at all with people that think that, because I know why they're thinking that way. And it just makes me more patient to try to change their mind on it.
Right.
I tell them the truth. I was just like you one time.
Right. Deborah says it took me 4 years to feel well enough in my recovery before I could move back to my home state here in Virginia, but I don't feel that I could ever move back to my hometown. Not because I'm not well enough, but just for the simple fact that I don't want to be around all the yous to be friends. I have new friends now, don't need the former friends in my life anymore. So true. Again, people, places, and things. That is, important.
And your old friends could be triggers too.
Right.
You know, I mean, you equate, being together is what you used to do when you were together. So, like Lori said, especially when you're really new in recovery,
Right.
it's really important if you can to try to change, people, places, and things. Like Lori
Yes.
said there, that's great advice, Lori.
Yes. And Nicole, you're going to love the book. I love it. I can't put it down, but there's a lot going on in the house, so I don't get to go through what I want to do. So, it's taken me a little time to get through it because I like to play Barbies with my granddaughter. So, it's taken me a little longer than it would. I don't want to put it down, but, you have to get some sleep sometimes. So, it's both books are amazing. Another book that I love is, and I'm sorry, it's at the bottom, is my Naranan family book. This is a daily reader, so each day has a story. Now we have two dogs.
Now we got two dogs.
Sniffing and snorting.
I feel like Caesar, the dog whisperer.
But this particular book is a daily reader, and it shares somebody's story each day. And if you can tell, if things were going slow.
People are gonna think we got a dog fighting ring here.
All these little tags are all the things on change. So just in case I started fumbling, I could read all of these pages for you. But each day is a different story from a parent or a loved one. And it's through Naranan. You can order this book. It's called Sharing Experience, Strength, and Hope. It is a Naranan book. You can get that also on Amazon or at a Naranan meeting. However, I think they're just getting ready to start. Oh yeah, happy fur babies. Yes, they are.
You would think these dogs haven't seen us in years. We just seen them 20 minutes ago.
But and this is Yingling down here, and that's Amber's back. But these are my three go-to books when I try and help somebody, and I forget something, and just to keep me, refreshed and up to date. I do look back on these books an awful lot, and I can't wait to get through Balm. It just is so good right now. I really love the reading of it. So, if you could share this out, because there's people everywhere that needs help, and
First
if
class.
you're sharing it, you never know who might see it and need to see this and hear it. I have a few people that have reached out to me because of the show, so I'm going to keep doing it. It's like, I'm sorry if I'm annoying, but it's just what I'm going to do. I just want to help the next person because so many people helped me through, a very difficult time in my life. So, and now I just have a different feeling in my life, especially with this new book. I'm learning so much more about myself, so
I got a feeling.
totally recommend that, especially with the exercises in it. It's so helpful because, first of all, I'll be the first one to say, I do follow Naranan, but I do not do the meetings. Everybody has to find their thing. They have to find their niche to get them stronger and feeling better. And Naranan just wasn't for me, and Al-Anon was not for me. So I'm going, as soon as I'm done balm, I'm going to order Under Our Roof by Madeline Dean and her son. I really want to read that as well. So as soon as I get rid of balm, get through balm, then I will order that. But you have to find that one thing that helps you through the worst times. My family parent group at Living Grin has given me the strength that I've needed to get through some, difficult situations. And I owe Living Grin so much. They've taught me so much, and I've learned so much from them. And the family that I've made through there is amazing. I highly recommend, if you have a loved one out there that is suffering from substance use disorder, that you find someone that can help you through it. Don't let going to a meeting stop you because you may see a neighbor in there. They're suffering too. If you walk in and you see your neighbor, they're going through the same thing that you are, and there's your support. That's who's going to help you get through the most difficult times, and especially the beginning if they've been there for a while. So always remember that you're not the only one out there. There's several people out there. There's a whole community of people out there that is suffering. What do they say? 1 in every 7.
I think it's probably less than that. No.
It's probably less than that now, but back when this all started, it was 1 in every 7 families, or 1 in every 7 people were affected by addiction, and 1 in 3 homes were affected as well. So every 3 houses, look at it, there's somebody suffering.
Yeah, and as a wise therapist that we know, I've always said, there's people who say, "Oh, not in my family." You shake that family tree hard enough, you'd be surprised what falls out of it.
Yes.
People don't share all that information.
No. And people, back in the day, everybody...
Keep it hush-hush.
Yes, keep it. Don't let anybody know.
Sure.
Don't tell the neighbors.
My gosh.
And we still have a this that today.
Sure.
Because, this is a disease.
Yeah,
and mental health, it's... this is a disease of the brain, which then falls into the mental health disorder, which we still have a long way to go to get help for our loved ones that are suffering from mental disorder. So many people are suffering depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. There's so many different levels of mental disorders.
Right, especially with all this seclusion we've been through in the last, 16 months or whatever it's been.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. Yeah. And a lot of people
a lot of fear, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to do this? My job. It's you start drinking.
Yes.
Start doing more of your medications.
Right.
To numb the pain.
And I know we've discussed it before that, the isolation is the worst for somebody that is in recovery from substance use disorder. The isolation is devastating for somebody that has to work that WE program. You've been counting on all of your support people, all of the people that you are there for. You count on that, and now it's all gone. Now you have to go on a computer, which some people may not have access to. Some people may just not feel comfortable enough to do it. So now they're left with no support. They're by themselves, and they have zero support. They have phone numbers, but there's nothing like meeting your support in person and getting that hug, or, you know, sitting down and having that coffee after a meeting, or just sitting down and finishing up the meeting, because meetings are probably an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, and then it ends, and you may not have been able to share that you were having a rough time. So just getting that support outside of that meeting, and maybe going to the diner and finishing, they lost that because of this isolation. So, you know, not only are they dealing with overdose, they're dealing with suicide, they're dealing with just not being able to open up. And now you're talking the abuse and the alcohol use has skyrocketed out of control with the isolation. So we need to be mindful. We need to be talking about
There's
mental.
a lot of other things you might not even realize. I mean, all this isolation, people are online shopping beyond their means.
Yes.
I mean, things like online gambling beyond it, just for something to do to occupy their mind. You know, next thing you know, you're in over your head. And I get all this shit coming on my door. I didn't even want it. I'm ordering. I just lost X
Shut
amount
up.
of money. X amount of money. I was just shot across the bow. You know, on this online gambling and stuff. I mean, so it's, you know, you know, you express this depression in various ways you might not even be aware of.
Right.
You know, and can I share something I heard the other day? Not to change gears too much.
As long as it's not religion.
Ah,
or
geez, I want to
politics.
talk about religion and politics.
And stop playing with things on the
I
desk.
can't help it. I'm
Then give me it.
playing with this
Give me
drill
it.
bit thing here. So the other day I'm in my truck and I hear that Amazon is no longer going to be screening for marijuana in their employees and as part of their drug screen.
Right.
No, and I can only assume that has to be everybody but the drivers. I should hope.
Right.
I
Because
said
you're
hope the
not-
drivers are being held to a higher
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, they said that they're no longer going to be screening for marijuana in their, you know, whether it's their pre-hire or in the event of, you know, of an accident or something. But in the same story, Amazon has a higher rate of injuries in their warehouses than similar companies that are similar to them that do the same thing. They have a higher injury rate. That's interesting, you know,
Yes.
because a lot of people like to argue tooth and nail. Oh, well, that marijuana, it's good. I work better. I work better when I'm doing it. I drive better. I had a guy tell me the other day. I brought that story with one of my customers. He goes, "Oh, I drive better when I'm smoking marijuana. It eases my anxieties." I'm like, "Hey, buddy, I can see you're not interested in this story around that day." But I just thought it was interesting because Amazon is really big on the legalization of marijuana. They said in the story, and as a part of that, they're becoming more lenient with their employees with marijuana use. They're not going to screen for it.
Right.
So, you know, well, even if it is legal, I mean, how about drinking? They're going to let them come in hammered?
Right.
I mean, where do you draw the line on, you know?
And is that they can use during operating hours, or
And it's say that
they're-
just it won't, if it shows up in their tox screen, I mean,
Right.
they're not going to be held accountable for
right?
it.
So
Which, I mean...
I
and
mean,
then-
you're smoking marijuana. They're gonna know you're smoking marijuana and you're high because there's the telltale
They don't really
signs.
have an accurate way of measuring it yet,
Right.
though, like they do alcohol. So it should be
Right.
interesting how that works out for them.
Right.
So good luck getting your packages, people. Hey, man, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I just had one delivered to my neighbor, and so yeah, there's that. But you know, there's so many different.
And I'm not against medical marijuana. Believe me.
I'm not
And what you
against.
do in the privacy of your own home is that's up to you. That's fine.
And if that's what keeps you from using drugs that will, you know, help you not turn back to opiates, or
That's a slippery slope. I mean, everybody's got their own beliefs, and I'm not saying
And-
one's better than the other.
and
I
it's
think
not.
it's a dangerous experiment
It
to
is.
lead you down the wrong road. You know, like the mashed potato story.
Mm-hmm.
The guy said the other day, you know, I'm really craving mashed potatoes. I want mashed potatoes. And then somebody gives me instant mashed potatoes. I ate them. They're okay. They get me by, but you know what? Now I really want that mashed potatoes more. I thought that was a great analogy.
Right. And it was. And some people can stop doing opiates, heroin, fentanyl, and just drink. But how long can they just drink before it's not enough again?
Because that's not what they're looking for. It's
You know,
like,
So you have to be,
get you by for a while.
right. I mean, a lot of people are on methadone and Suboxone, and they're doing well. They're working, they have a family, they're buying homes, they're buying cars. If that works for you, that's great. If you can do that and just stay there, that's fine. Then that's for you. I myself feel that the 12-step is the best way to go.
No, you're not supposed to be giving your opinions.
I can
Words
give
there.
that's my opinion. That's my opinion. But I know a
Everybody's path
lot.
is different, and
I know a lot of people that depend on the methadone and Suboxone path, and that's great. If you can live a life,
many
and-
people have tried all avenues. I mean, and that's
right.
what works for them. Well, man, good
I'm
for them.
all for it.
That's great.
I'm all for it.
It's
You do just like we have to
Keeps you
choose
alive.
our program that keeps us sane and healthy. That's what we do. I myself, I'm all for Live and Grin and their family parent and friend meeting. You don't even have to be a family member. You can be a friend. And
everybody's welcome,
yes.
and we have free donuts. Well, they're
You know
free to
what?
us. They cost
Yeah.
John money, but they.
Yeah. You know what, Fred? It's so true. They always say, "Oh well, I can have an O'Doul's," and O'Doul's does not pay a dime for this show. But if you're a beer drinker, guess what? That's not going to be enough for you. You're going to go back to
That's a great
You know,
point, John. It really is. It's a
Miller
great point.
and
That's like equates to I give up cigarettes out. Maybe I'll try a vape. Oh, maybe I better not. That might lead me right back to cigarettes. I mean, it's the same way of thinking. I mean, yeah, I think you're best off steering clear with a non-alcoholic beer too, because
any
subconsciously that
non-alcoholic.
could be a trigger for you.
I mean, if you love margaritas, you may not want to try that virgin margarita.
Yeah, I know a lot of professionals, especially when you're really early in recovery, they frown upon mocktails.
yes,
Those cocktails without alcohol, because it takes you back to that mashed potato thing. But it really tastes good, but that really wasn't what I was looking for. And to each his
Especially
own.
Yeah, especially if you're having a rough day. If you're having a rough day, you don't want to be messing around with
You
that
start
kind of
tasting
stuff.
it, it takes you back. You gotta. I mean, the brain is very interesting. I mean, how it works and how it relates to things. I mean, and I don't want to tell the same stories every week, but I'd always tell that smoking story where I went out to light a fire. We were, at our mountain house, and I looked for my lighter and cigarettes. And I hadn't had a cigarette in like 10 years at that point, probably. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just looked for that.
Yes.
Because, the brain just does things. I mean, without you knowing it sometime.
It does. It's, your brain always plays tricks on you because, a song might come on and that triggers a memory, an emotion, or what have you.
Yeah, like you're driving down the road, you hear a great song come on the radio, you go, man, that's a really good song. Then all of a sudden you hear the oldies channel. That's not an oldie. The oldies, that's the 50s and 60s.
Right. Wrong.
That's one of your first experiences with getting old.
Right.
A reality check. Well, let's see.
Right. A movie
The 80s,
can
the
trigger
90s,
it.
the 2000s,
Yep.
the 2010s, they're all oldies now.
Yeah.
Yipes.
And anything can trigger that a movie, a TV show, your mind, even though you're reprogramming it in a 12-step program, and the longer that you're in the program and you're readjusting your get up, make your bed, the repetitiveness, so that you find different ways to handle things. your brain's still storing all that stuff. So, you know, something can trigger something. You know, it's
Well, I think we have a caller.
no,
No? False alarm.
false alarm. But
Just like you're saying, things like that triggers emotions. Now your brain starts creating them chemicals again that it can. Mm-hmm. You might see it. Maybe you'll see like an old picture, and you get the blues really bad.
Right.
and stuff like that. Maybe somebody that's passed away and stuff like that. And you're looking
Right.
at just looking through a photo album, and you like your grandmother. You're really close with your grandma.
Right.
Look at that. And it takes you back to better times in your life and things were simpler. Now you got the blues.
yeah.
And so you got to be real careful of things like that can sway emotions for you. You got to keep that in mind.
And when it snows, the first thing I think about is when we first moved into our home, everybody was out and we were all shoveling together. We were all doing whatever it was together. And we always had beer. Everybody just, hung out, drank beer, shoveled.
Yeah, nothing
snow
like
blowed.
running power tools and drinking alcohol. They hand in hand,
So
You can
we're,
say, or-
yeah.
I'm just
Hey, Eric, it's
couple
about
fingers.
time. I guess you weren't vertical after all. But, there's just different things that you do that brings you back to those memories. And the first mow of the season, everybody, the first mowing of the season, the smell of the grass being cut, and then everybody, hey, I'm just going to throw some stuff on the grill, come on over. So it's,
And you get that that aha feeling, it's
let's
summer.
let's
and-
pop that beer, it's so, and it doesn't matter, and even still, it really doesn't matter if it's raining, it's sunny, or whatever. It's if you are in the verge of that, then it's going to happen. No matter what you do, it's going to happen.
I just should always kind of keep it in the back of your mind and try to avoid that type of confrontation with yourself. You know what I mean? It's a confrontation with yourself, your own mind. And say, I think I'm going to pass.
Yeah. What were you doing? Blowing up another dryer there, Eric? I don't know, something with the web socket. But
Bells and whistles go
yeah,
off.
you have to be mindful where your head is at the time, You don't want your head being, in a bad place while you're driving by a liquor store. So, be mindful. Reach out to your
Old Humpty Dumpty.
That panting dog sounds like a handsaw going back
Sounds
and
like
forth.
These dogs are. Somebody let them out in the yard and they ran back to the studio where they
Yes.
hear us in here.
Yes.
There's no hiding from them.
No. This is their thing. When they know we're out here, that's what they do.
And get back to keeping your addiction a secret, maybe from your neighbors or your friends. Well, now they start putting the pressure. Oh, come on, have a beer, stay early. They don't know you're in recovery. They're gonna taunt you, and then you gotta sound weird, saying, I'm okay. What's with him? Just tell them.
Yeah.
Say, hey,
Fred
listen.
says,
Or just say, I'm trying to lose a few pounds.
yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Friend said, when I finished my 30 days at Livengren, it was very hard to cook on the grill for me. And I can tell you, when I quit smoking,
This is such a class show, isn't it? My God, this is terrible. I got 2 female dogs out there. They're out of control.
sorry about that.
Sorry about that, but
She's in a mood.
oh my God, we're coming to you live.
It's a
from
family show, Yingling.
the family shit. Stop. Oh my God, that's what we need.
When
right?
I quit smoking, I could not have potato chips or French fries for the longest time. I was like, no, I can't do that because that would be the one thing that I would want to and have to have.
That was
a
the weirdest thing
cigarette
when we quit smoking. Wow.
Yeah.
Everything tasted salty to me. And I'm not kidding you. My toothpaste tasted salty to me. That makes no
Yes.
sense whatsoever. But, man, that was a weird thing. And now, my God, the smell of cigarettes is so repulsive. I used to smoke 2 packs a day, 3 packs on the weekend if I was drinking.
Stop.
I mean, unbelievable the amount we used to smoke.
Right. And I wouldn't go to
I
the
never
bar.
had one puff, and I might have had one puff. I have not taken one puff for fear of going right back to them cigarettes. I mean,
I have had 4 cigarettes since I quit smoking.
it goes up every time you tell the story.
Yes. And well, it is. It's, when I found out I had a loved one that was suffering from addiction,
You started smoking then?
my nerves were shot.
Oh my gosh, the things you find out on this show. You think you know somebody.
And 2 other times that I had a very stressful point in my life. And I actually was just taking puffs because it made me deathly ill.
Damage control.
No, it made me
Well, that's I
deathly
started
ill.
just a couple puffs since she quit smoking. Now it's 4 cigarettes.
Yeah, I've may not have done the whole thing.
The
Go
truth
on.
comes out.
But
The truth will set you free.
yes, and I couldn't go to the bar because when you drink, you're smoking. So they were like the 2 things the 3 things that I had to stay clear of until.
I can't believe I don't smoke no more. It was a big accomplishment for me. It's as silly as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
I used to wonder why people didn't smoke. They didn't know what they were missing.
Right.
The relaxation, the enjoyment.
Yeah, I hate that I put on so much weight since I quit
Yeah,
smoking.
blame it on the cigarette.
But
It's your addiction to donuts.
yeah, I have that addiction. My thing is sweets. Sweets are
My
just
doctor
horrible.
level with me, and they hate to tell you this, but nicotine is an appetite suppressant. They don't like to tell you that because then people are like, I'm going to blow up like a balloon. But it is, and that's one thing. You quit smoking, you better put something in place, like an exercise plan or a diet plan.
Yeah.
Trust me. I mean,
Because
but you got to fill that void somehow, and
Yeah.
food is like the easy thing to fill
yeah.
it with. Huh?
And the saddest part is when I was smoking, I could eat whatever I wanted. I could eat whatever I wanted. I can eat whatever time I wanted. It didn't matter. I didn't put an ounce on. I quit smoking, and wow.
I used to finish her meals. Oh, I can't finish this. You about to ready? Oh, yeah, sure. Bye, bother taking it home. I never get to finish her meals no more. No, never. I gotta guard mine.
So if you do give up any of those crutches, make sure that you put an exercise regimen into that, because that can set you right back to using, because of you're getting putting that weight back on, and you don't want that weight. A lot of people may have started using because of their weight issues.
Eric says, I just don't want my smoke away day to change.
And what day is that?
I don't know. But I'll never forget one time at the bar, this woman asked me, she said, do you smoke after sex? I said, I don't know. I never looked.
I'm sorry about him.
Sorry, just a little levity, folks. Recovery doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
No, it's not. Recovery is fun. We
It is.
have a good
It is
time
fun.
in recovery. We have coming up actually on June 27th, starting at Living Grin. There will be a ride for recovery. The people that are riding will be meeting at Living Grin, and they will be doing a ride.
And our friend Marge will be doing a wheelie exhibition.
Yes. But they will be doing that. They'll go for a ride, and we're all meeting back at Core Creek Park for fun fellowship. There'll be speakers, and they're making me speak, so you'll have to hear me again.
And come out. There's an amazing DJ that's going to be there.
Yes.
Quite famous in the In the realms of recovery.
Yes. So, yes, I believe the meeting is this Sunday. It was postponed last week because of
The holiday.
the holiday. I believe we are meeting Sunday. I think it's at 4:00 instead of 4:15. And as well, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock till 12:30, again, we will be meeting at Livingren's Oxford Valley location.
But John was on there to chime in on that. I don't know, Fred. We're assuming there's a meeting.
Yes. And that will be the live family parent friend group support group will be meeting at Livingren's Oxford Valley location.
On Saturday.
Saturday from 11 to 12:30. We always run over, so if you can't stay the whole time, come out for as long as you can, because it's great to get together and just get the support that you're looking for. It's so very important to have that support.
Meet somebody. I mean, you might find somebody there that, you know, you can associate with, you know, and like you could reach out to in the event.
Right.
I mean, so many people are so scared to reach out. They don't want to inconvenience somebody with your problems. Well, that's why we're all there. We're all there to help each other, as
Right.
corny as it sounds, but it's the truth. And that's where you're going to meet somebody that you can relate to, that can relate stories that they went through. You say, wow, I'm going through the same thing. This is freaky, you know? But, because I always said it seems like our loved ones are all read from the same script, because so many of their actions are so similar, right across the board. I mean, I'm not going to go on. You all know what they are. You know, it's like it's just freaky sometimes. It's like, you know, it's like it's so well scripted. I mean, I guess they all network with each other, which they do, especially when they're in recovery, when they're when what am I looking for? Well, when they're in a location all together, they all talk and they all share stories and share schemes and stuff like that. There's no food at this place. They got bed bugs in this place. Oh, I gotta get out of here. You know, and they tell their families that, this place is a hellhole. It's terrible. It's not for me. I mean, you hear the same stories from all of them. And we always tell, like, parents who love us, just reassure them it's going to be good, go along. And then it's weird they get to a point where their whole disposition changes. I mean, they become more on board with the program and they change their whole tune. It happens probably 90% of the time, you know. Some people are there and they're not ready to be there. Well, it's not going to change them. They're there for all the wrong reasons. They're not there because they want to be there. They're there because they're trying to make other people happy, or you know, they're court appointed or whatever.
Right. And I just put into the comments the address and the information on the parent friend family support group on Saturday. I don't know where the address went, but it's in there somewhere.
That wasn't a dog, Eric. That was Lori. She blames it on the dog
That
all the
was
time.
not me, but
She's always blaming it on the dog.
I have a feeling that may have been Banner that made that little poof. Deborah, night. Kai, nighty night. Thanks for joining us. Not you, Deborah. We have the Hellraisers will be there also. We have a few people. Hey, Grace, love you, girl. It's been forever, but SVB is here. He was. I don't know if he's still here. He was here, but Eric's here. Liz is here. Deborah just went to bed. But I'm glad that you popped in. Let's see what else is coming up. We have the Ride for Recovery. We have that. We also have through Never Give Up Hope. Let me find it. They are having a walk for.
And I regret not being able to do your event. I do have a wedding booked for that day. I felt so bad.
Yes, they have an overdose awareness walk on August 28th from 6:30 p.m. Please check the page, Living Hopeful page. And I do have that listed in there, and I will continue reposting it.
Great
So
organization. They do so much.
Yes.
Right on the front lines down there.
Yes, we had Valerie and Kathy here one night as guests. I don't have it right here, so check the page, and I will repost it again, just so that we can get people that have lost somebody out there and be able to acknowledge them
And support the walk. And, yep.
yeah, so support them.
So they, like I said, they go right down to the front line down in the Kensington section of Philadelphia where we used to go. And man, it's ground zero down there. Words can't explain what they endure and what they see,
Right.
and what they deal with. It takes a special person to be able just to handle it emotionally.
Right.
Down there, you feel as though you've walked into a third world country
Yes.
where a couple blocks away it's a whole different ball game, but it's so bad
Right.
in the Kensington section of Philadelphia, and it's not getting better anytime fast.
No. And just keep an eye on the page as things are opening up. There are more events starting. I know that Livingren will be doing also a recovery walk during the morning on that same day, I believe.
Really? 'Cause I know we're waiting to hear more on that.
Yeah, usually this is the world's largest recovery walk through ProAct. So we, instead of doing the walk down at Penn's Landing like they usually do, Livingren will be doing the recovery walk as a small group from Livingren. We will be posting it on the we will be posting it on their page, so just keep an eye on their page as well. And that is ProAct, an amazing group to find references to get help through. These dogs are nuts tonight. I don't know who let them out, but
In and out.
so that they are some things that are coming up, and things are starting to open up. So we will keep you posted on when things are going to be happening. If you guys have any information on walks or events or
And-
educational things, please let me know so I can get it posted up there.
And on a positive note, things are slowly but surely getting back to normal. We're seeing more and more meetings coming back to play and events.
Right.
I mean, I notice in my other field, I'm a DJ, I notice I'm getting a lot more events now, a lot more gigs. I mean, for a year, I got none.
right.
I mean, people weren't gathering; they were afraid to, and they still are a little bit apprehensive. I noticed a couple of my events, people said, "Boy, I was hoping some more people showed up, but they didn't RSVP," and people are still afraid. I mean, and I don't blame them, man. All the rhetoric and the way people made them so frightened. I mean, it's going to take time for people to feel comfortable again in crowds, but it's coming around. It's starting. So
Right. Thanks, Grace. I'm glad that you came. I miss you. And I'm so glad that the babe's doing well. Yes, Terrible Twos are a little rough, but let me tell you, the Fantastic Threes, 3, almost 4, is being, it's amazing. I love playing with my granddaughter. She is
yeah, you're
awesome.
welcome, Grace. We love doing it. We
Yeah.
really do. We really enjoy it.
Yeah, so come hang out with me, girl, every Friday night, 9 to...
We are here, and there's not a
10:30.
speaker. You all get to enjoy me. I'm the Ed McMahon. Hello,
And you know that you can always reach out to me. I'm always here.
and I'm always on the sidelines if need be. I'm usually out of camera view there.
Yes.
I think this camera adds like 40 pounds to me. Here.
Yeah.
And this shirt, my God, you can see my belly button. This is a terrible shirt. I'm trying to sit there. all
And
night.
Grace, this happens to be Pappy, the husband, so... I know you couldn't see him on After Dark, so you get to see him here. But Yes, it is very hot here, Eric. I'm not sure if you're aware of
We
that.
have great air conditioning here, but we can't run it when we're in this on camera because these microphones are so stinking sensitive. When you're the air conditioner, we got a really nice
Yeah.
air conditioning unit right behind us back here,
Yes.
but got to turn it off right before we go on the air.
Yes. Anytime, I'm here, Grace. I love helping people, and if this helps one person, then, it's all worth it. But, we're winding down. If anybody has any questions, you have 5 minutes.
Always remember that
5
call-in number,
minutes.
267-737-8031.
Yes.
We're listening.
SVB was supposed to call in. I don't know what happened to him, but
It's getting hotter and hotter in here. Now you said it. Now I'm really thinking about
disappeared.
it. No, this is not lotion I put on to look younger from my wrinkles. This is perspiration.
Yes.
But I'm so heavy. I sweat in the shower, so it's no big deal. I'm really beefing up. And the other night, I'm standing outside the house by myself, and a cop pulled up and said, "Hey, break it up." I was pretty insulted. I thought it was very unnecessary.
So,
But I am pro cop, so I was okay
Yeah.
with that.
if anybody has any questions or concerns or just needs some support, please feel free, reach out to me. I'm always available. 267-737-8031. If you can't talk for any reason, you can also text me, and I can text back. So please feel free to reach out at any time. Yes, I missed her too, Eric. It's nice to have her in the hood.
We need one of them voice scramblers, like to disguise people's voices,
Yeah.
when Larry called in, we know it's Larry. Like, it's Larry.
Yes.
Like garble it up so it won't be so noticeable. Somebody wants
Yes.
anonymity.
Yes. And Trista was supposed to pop in, but she had a crazy flight from Idaho to back to Florida again. So hopefully she'll pop in and tell us about her trip and what went on, and I will check in with her because I haven't heard from her. She was
I
supposed
think
to
she had
let
a
me
bad
know.
batch of fish and chips last time.
Yes.
She might be a little under the weather.
Yes. But again, if anybody is interested, tomorrow at Living Grin, Oxford Valley location, it's catty corner from, it's Bristol Oxford Valley Road. It's across catty corner to the Wawa, behind where Fuddruckers used to be. So if you're in Lower
Across from
Bucks
the
County,
formerly largest year-round flea market.
yeah, that's no longer there, so don't go there. But tomorrow from 11 to 12:30, there's usually coffee and donuts.
You can find the address. You Google. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find the address. It is in the comments. So if you are struggling and you need help, please come out and just bring your mask. And you don't, once we're seated
Once you're
and
seated, you can go
6 foot
maskless.
apart,
We
then
keep
you
some
can take
distance.
your mask off. But
Every
unless,
time you go up to get a donut, you got to wear your mask.
yeah.
And I end up with powder sugar all over my mouth.
But anytime you need help, just reach out to me. I'm always here.
She is.
I always listen, and I try in my very best. If I don't have a resource to help you, I will try my best to find one for you. Please join us again next Friday. We will be here. I don't have a guest planned as of yet, but we will. I will let you know in on the page if we do get a guest speaker. Everybody, please have a safe, have a happy week. We will see you here next Friday from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, check the feed in Living Hopeful for the events that I mentioned this evening. If you're interested, please come out, join me, meet me, and just get the support that you need. We're out here and we're listening. So
We are listening.
always listening. So everybody have a great week. Catch you next Friday.
And remember, recovery works if you work it.
Yes. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out. Love y'all.